There's a quiet kind of exhaustion people rarely talk about. It's not dramatic. It doesn't look like burnout from the outside, and it's just emptiness. You wake up, sit at your desk, open the same tabs, and nothing. No spark, no momentum, just that heavy fog behind your eyes. If you've ever stared at a task you wanted to care about but couldn't find the switch inside yourself, this one's for you. Because today we're talking about a different kind of motivation. Not the loud kind, not the push harder kind, but the kind that comes from somewhere quiet, somewhere built into who you are. Let me tell you about Aiden. He wasn't unambitious, he wasn't lazy, he just couldn't understand why some days he felt on fire, and other days felt like he was moving through glue. Why the things he should do drained him even when he tried to hype himself up. And maybe you've wondered the same thing. Why can't I make myself feel motivated? What's wrong with me? That was Aiden's ordinary world. Wake up, grind, repeat. He read productivity blogs, watched motivational videos with dramatic music, told himself the problem was discipline. And every time his energy dipped, it dipped hard. On the outside, he looked fine. On the inside, he was frustrated, ashamed, confused. He thought motivation was something you wrestled into existence. Then something small happened. Almost nothing. One night, after another day of getting nothing done, he saw an old notebook sticking out of a drawer. He opened it without thinking. Inside were sketches, messy, colourful, alive, ideas he used to play with, experiments he did just because he enjoyed it. Looking at them, he felt something warm. Not dramatic, not overwhelming, just alive for the first time in a long time. That was the first spark, but he pushed it away. No, I don't have time for this. I need to focus on real work. That was his refusal. His mind whispering, don't go there, it won't help. But the next morning, one sentence from that notebook stayed with him, something he didn't even remember writing. Energy is a signal, not a character flaw. He didn't know where it came from, but it felt like a doorway. And in that tiny line, he met his mentor. Not a person, but a perspective. What if motivation wasn't something you force, but something that shows up when you use the parts of yourself that naturally come alive? He didn't trust it yet, but he was curious. So he crossed the threshold quietly. The next day, instead of starting with spreadsheets, he gave himself 15 minutes to explore an idea he was excited about. Just 15 minutes. And underneath everything, something shifted. He felt awake again. Not fully, but enough to notice the difference. As days passed, the tests came. Some mornings he slid back into old patterns. Some days he judged himself. You're wasting time. Some days he wondered if he was just procrastinating in a prettier way. But he had allies too. A co-worker saying, "You seem more focused lately." Moments where time disappeared, in a good way. The return of flow he hadn't felt in years. The bigger challenge came later. A new project at work needed a spark, a fresh idea. They asked Aiden if he had any thoughts. Instant panic. The old voice, "Don't say anything, you'll sound silly." But another voice rose beneath it, the one he'd been practicing in those quiet mornings. "Maybe your energy is trying to tell you something." So he shared his idea. Not perfectly, not boldly, just honestly. Silence filled the room, the dangerous kind. His heart thudded. Then someone said, "Wait, that could actually work." And suddenly the whole direction of the project shifted. The reward wasn't applause, it wasn't recognition, it was the walk home afterward, realizing he wasn't tired. He wasn't forcing himself to care. He felt clear, light. It wasn't motivation he had found, it was alignment. So he kept going. He didn't push harder, he listened more, he stopped calling himself undisciplined. He adjusted small parts of his routine. He paid attention to what drained him and what energized him. People noticed. "How do you stay so consistent?" they asked. He didn't have a complicated answer. "I stopped fighting myself," he said. The resurrection came quiet. A tight deadline, a stressed team. Old Aiden would have spiraled, but this time he centered himself in the work that fueled him, and the motivation followed. Same pressure, same workload, a different man. And here's the elixir he carried back. Motivation doesn't come from louder alarms or stricter schedules. It appears when you work with your strengths, not against them. Aiden didn't become more disciplined. He became more aligned, and the strength followed. Before we end, I want to turn this towards you. Where in your life do you feel that quiet drain? And what is it trying to tell you? What parts of you light up so naturally that if you let them lead a little more, your energy might return? Maybe, like Aiden, the answer isn't to push harder, but to stop fighting the parts of you that have been trying to help all along.